Check it out, people. Zest for Life, aka Fresh Mark Scents. What will we be talking about today? I'm talking about, wow, I've got actually three fragrances that I want to release today. But I was thinking, wow, it's not really giving each fragrance time to shine. So I'm going to have to separate it into three episodes and bring back two fragrances that I'll be wearing and thinking about how they smell and how I can explain them to you. But I'm going to go for the first one as something that is the brand that I haven't touched for a while, but Mansera is a fragrance brand that is everybody knows it now for its long lasting, bodacious fragrances. And this is something which is, in my mind, a clone of Ombre Leather, Tom Ford Ombre Leather, and Initio Parfums Oud for Greatness, Mansera's Black Noir. It seems like two fragrances in one. We get pink pepper, leather. Um, we have some spices in between. It's a very nice one. Oh my God, that's very dangerous doing that. I wouldn't recommend doing it upside down. But you have this nice over here. You can see it. Very nice Black Noir. Sorry about my presentation. I would shake, but trimmer just broke down. It happens sometimes, and I don't want to hack through it with a shaving blade. Sorry, people. Anyway, do it tomorrow. Black Noir opens with a nice spiced tobacco note. So the spiciness comes from tobacco. It has a oud note, which isn't very strong or skanky or traditional sour oud like. It's a very tamed Western oud, but it has that darkness, that leathery facet, which is very Tom Ford ombre leather, that sort of initial balsamic touch that turns into a leather aromatic perfume. The spiciness from tobacco is there, but it's not harsh, it's not overbearing. It opens pretty much with sweet vanilla, a little bit of that oudy, woody note, and the balsamic, leathery touch of leather, which is spiced with tobacco. I think really a touch of iris would go pretty, it would go down very well with this perfume. I think it would. Oh, but what do we have here? We have tiara flower, which is from the middle notes, which sort of breaks down the perfume and makes it not so harsh and masculine. Do I think it could be worn by a woman? I don't have the skin chemistry of a woman, so I can't say that. But I could say if it was worn by a woman, I'd say the leathery nuances might suffocate a woman wearing this fragrance. It would be, it could be a bit dark and musty for a woman. But on a man's skin, the leather comes out, the balsamic touch comes out, which is rugged, masculine, but smoothened by the tiara flower, which adds a sort of creamy lotion note to it, almost like a suntan lotion. So this is what grounds the perfume. It stops it from being too much. So the initio oud for greatness, this feeling, is because Oud for Greatness didn't have a very harsh oud. It had a very tamed oud, and it had the woody green facets going on. And then it went into this metallic perfume, which I didn't really like. This is what I thought Oud for Greatness would be like. I thought it'd be, well, I thought it'd have more oud really, but they're pretty much the same. A tamed oud with leather notes. It gives you that Tom Ford ombre leather vibe, but with a classy, sort of powdery clean. Well, not powdery clean. I'd say it's a creamy, clean, fresh feel. Hence the tiara flower, which gave it a bit of a lotion or thick, thick floral scent. It's not a heady scent. It's not a it's not going to make you dizzy like jasmine or heavy jasmine or heavy tuberose or anything like that. The tiara flower is clean, creamy, and just breaks up the pink pepper, the leather, the balsamic touch. I like the woodiness at the end of this perfume, but I think people who want a perfume that's going to change a lot, this isn't it. This is quite linear. It doesn't really change too much, but I like this fragrance because it's woody, sweet, tobacco, and it has that sort of light creamy finish, which is very classy. But I think iris would go a long way in this fragrance because when you have a white fragrance, white floral like tiara, which is quite soapy, not soapy, but clean, creamy, and quite heady. It is quite thick, you know, without being dizzying. It's a very nice leather note. I'd say definitely the tiara flower comes out second, but it's a noticeable vibe in the perfume that uh, that breaks up the perfume from just being a leather oud perfume. But if you do like leather and oud and that kind of feeling, there's something a little bit different. Well, this is going to be Mansura Black Noir, the video, but wow, I mean, I'm just gonna have to bring this up because I love this. I got this for a steal. Uh, they were selling it for £100 in the perfume shop, and I said, no way, £100 for 50 ml? That's robbery, right? I thought she was actually lying to me later because I checked the price online and 50 ml was 75 and 100 or something else ridiculous. But I went online and I found this Boss Triumph Elixir at Notino. It might be out of stock now, I don't know. For under £50. It was like £49, and I thought, wow, this is a very masculine scent. I'm not actually wearing it because it's £49 because I already told you what I feel about cheap perfumes and you get what you pay for. But usually I stay away from Boss bottled and Boss fragrances because they don't last that long. But recently they've been turning up a notch with the spices. Uh, there was a myrrh and spicy one which was really nice. But I thought, you know what? It was the Boss Elixir Absolute, and that was fantastic. But it was spicy and it was a fragrance that's been done before. It's not the most original. However, before that, Boss came up with Boss Bottled Triumph Elixir. So this is Boss Bottled Triumph Elixir. And this opens up with, well, it says it's got violet on the top note in Fragrantica, violet leaf. But over here, the top note says Vetiver Essence. Very strange. So on Fragrantica, I got the initial spicy impression. I got an initial spicy impression, spicy green impression on this. Let me just spray it. Yeah, so you get so the Vetiver Essence is a green, dark, slightly bitter vibe, and it gives me a really oody sense when you mix it with the heart note of patchouli essence. And the base note is Labdanum Absolute. So, as you know, or may not know, Labdanum is a leathery, like cistus flower or something like that. Is a flower that has a leather note, and it's very popular for a leather note. It's dark, it's smoky, it's balsamic. It's I've been really on the balsamic fragrances, and I'll explain why actually. It all started from the next fragrance that I'm going to introduce. So, base notes of Labdanum Absolute. I'm getting the leathery note. I'm getting the oudi vetiver essence, which is the bitter green note of the oud. And then what smells like oud in this perfume that's making it smell like oud, like a deep, resinous, masculine oud with lots of texture, lots of layers, and a nice leather. It's that patchouli essence that's giving a oudi smell. So what they've done here with Boss Bottled is say, you know what? I don't think you can handle the oud, the real oud. I mean, I'm just going to give you something, a woody patchouli note that smells like it could have the dryness of oud, and I'll give you a vetiver note that gives you the greenness of oud that you can handle. But I'm not going to give you the skankiness of oud, which is the real oud, because that's a bit too much. I'll just leave you with a little leathery note, which is the after effect of the balsamic nature of oud. So this has sort of skipped round the use of real oud and smells like a rich, leathery, oudy scent without having any oud in. So that is fantastic. I mean, that is a fantastic uh, multitude layering of tricks that they've come up with to actually make something smell so good. This is an everyday scent. I mean, maybe not in summer, but most days, an average day in Britain where it's cold or windy, or you can't just go out with a t-shirt, uh, fresh, crisp weather, or even rainy weather, and or cloudy weather, this would smell so good because it has that punchy woody note that has a bit of a spicy mingling with it, almost like violet leaf because it's smooth and sweet. That patchouli is dry, spicy, sweet. That vetiver has that green sour cloud around it. It's quite nice. It's like the sourness of oud, but it's a green cloud which is quite inviting. And the vetiver has a dark, herbaceous nature to it, which really helps it meld with the labdanum and patchouli. So this fragrance is a fantastic fragrance. It seems like it lasts quite a bit actually. You have to spray about 3 sprays to sort of get that oody woody feeling. In the beginning, you'd have to, well, if you sprayed it just once, you'd have to wait a little bit for it to dry down. But this is like oody, woody, green without the oud. So it's quite a trickery, but it's really working for me. I think you could, I think it's got that sort of masculine resinousness, like resinous nature, like myrrh, and which is fantastic on a wool overcoat. That kind of scent is just wow, it's crisp, it's smooth, it's seductive because it has a little bit of spice that's unusual and sweet at the same time. Yet it's not overly sour, and it has some sweetness to it. I still don't understand where the sweetness comes from. It's almost like a caramel like sweetness. So nowadays it seems like there are only 3 notes in this perfume, but they're not telling us all the notes in the perfume. So watch out for that, people. When you get a perfume that doesn't say all the notes, it's probably just the brand is probably just protecting itself from clones, whereby they would just say, we've got all the same notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it smells the same, but it doesn't really, because we've gone through this, and clones are just not good enough unless they're made by reputable brands who take things in their own direction, like Mansira with Black Noir. You know, I mean, this is not trying to be exactly Initio Parfums, Oud for Greatness or Oud for Happiness, or whatever. I don't know, but you know, you can see this thing. It's doing it a little bit with the oudiness and the packaging, of course, but it still has its own thing. It's got a little bit of a clone of Tom Ford as well, so that's very nice and appreciated that they don't just remake fragrances that we already know and sell it to us for a higher price. It's sold at a decent price. I actually got this for £80, £80 for 120 ml. But one spray of this lasts much longer than another fragrance. And now let's get to the third one because this is a bundle. I'm actually just going through this because It's all inspired. All of these fragrances were actually inspired. Oh, actually, I got this first, and I bought this first, and I tried this fragrance at Selfridges. So I tried this fragrance at Selfridges. Um, I tried that fragrance the next day. I bought both of them, and then I actually got this. So talking about all these fragrances together, I should restate that. The idea of it came about when I bought this. So when I bought this, I decided to talk about all these together because this is Leather Balsamic by Abdul Samad Al Qureshi. So this is the same company with the big A on the bottle. It's very nice, leather and balsamic. So it's 100 ml, and this is a eau de cologne intense. What I like about this, just for the camera. All right. So what I like about this is it's a night scent that you would wear at bedtime. It doesn't project a lot. What it does project, it projects about let's say that far, and if you were that far away, you could probably just smell it. But it's a herbaceous juniper branch, cedar wood, leather, and balsamic fragrance, whereby you would actually just drip this on your skin. It's an oil. It's an oil. You drip it on your skin. Oh, I'm trying to take it out. It's kind of stingy with the drip because I don't want you to drip it everywhere. But the idea is you can wear a body butter or any sort of like we have over here rituals, happiness. What is it? The ritual of joy. You have a body cream with a bit of neroli, and you mix it with the scent of leather balsamic. So I literally have a few sprays. I go like that, and I'll put it all over me. And what that would do is sometimes it's good to rub a fragrance in nicely, like leather balsamic, because it has a very masculine scent that would emanate when you sweat. So this is what I'm talking about. Nighttime fragrances are sort of the beginning of staying fresh. Well, the end of staying fresh. And I'm going to get to the beginning of staying fresh with the next episode being about deodorants. I'm going to collect a lot of these. I've been collecting a lot of these deodorants, which are natural, based in the UK. These products and have no aluminium. So the reason why I've been checking this out is because staying fresh starts with deodorant and ends with the night perfume. In between, it starts with the everyday scent, and then for the most part, the memorable part is when you come out with a special scent that is memorable or niche or the like. So definitely have your everyday scent. Definitely get some niche scents for those special occasions. And I would heavily recommend that you wear a perfume at night time. Just for those intimate moments where you could say it's for yourself, but really it's for somebody else, just to make them feel comfortable and let them smell that nice, leathery, balsamic uh, perfume. It's fantastic. It's just the most masculine and virile version of you, really. It's a that leather balsamic. It smells a bit like clary sage and juniper on projection, and the leather and balsamic, the leathery scent. It's almost like labdanum resin, but it's rubbed deep into the skin, so it will sweat out and have a nice ambery leather and balsamic scent through the night at close quarters. So I'd heavily recommend that. And It's 50% at Abdul Samad Al Qureshi. Yes, this is not a link from the subscribers or anything like that. This is just a store that for some reason half the year has a 50% sale. And only the people in the store are told that it's suddenly going to be on. They don't even know when it's coming. They're just told from the Saudi Arabian store to do it in London. For £19, 100 mil of a nighttime fragrance is fantastic. It's fantastic because these are the kind of scents that if you didn't want to offend anyone, say you're visiting somebody who's newly pregnant, and they don't want to smell anything, or somebody who doesn't like fragrances, but you want something fragrance for yourself, you can wear this and you wouldn't be overpowering someone with the fragrance, but you'd be comfortably fresh, formally fresh. And you can, I think this is fantastic after working out and the like. If I'm going to do my sports or whatever, I'll keep this in my gym bag, add a few sprays of this just underneath my neck and in the pulse points, and it really project. So it's fantastic to have a masculine scent that you could wear in intimate quarters and smell high quality straight after exercise. So yeah, that's perfect. And there you go. You have the oudi resin. You have the oudi woody tobacco scent with a little bit of spice. You have the oud scent without any oud. I'd say this is an oud scent without oud because it smells like oud in its entirety, apart from the skankiness of oud. And then you have the sort of clary sage and juniper projection and leather and balsamic and amber close, which is fantastic because you can turn any body butter, even the ones that smell a little bit feminine, like the neroli or some other ones that you don't like, just pick it up and make something out of it, because it's important to moisturize the joints. No matter how tough we think we are, you can go outside and run for 10 miles, but if you've got sensitive skin, it's going to affect your skin. So, staying fresh starts with the deodorant, which I'm going to talk about next episode, and ends with the night perfume. And in between, it's all about staying fresh and keeping your what is it, from degrading, and your joints from degrading, especially in this cold weather, by putting some moisturizer on your elbows and knees. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Whatever you do, people, stay free and stay fresh. Take care in winter, people.